Red Eye Debate 2014, live from the Red Eye Debate Center.
There we go. Welcome to tonight's Red Eye Debate, live from the Red Eye Debate Center. I'm Greg Gutfeld, host of tonight's Red Eye Debate. According to researchers and anyone who's spent time in Walmart, today's parents are yelling at their children more than ever. According to one expert, quote, yelling is the new spanking. That's true, but it comes with a cost. Afterwards, parents often feel guilty, and there's been a backlash to the tongue lash. One courageous mom has started a movement challenging fellow parents to not yell for an entire year, even if the kid is cutting off his own fingers. I added that. It's not true. That would be wrong. PAB, you claim to have children. Haven't seen any proof. You don't carry around pictures, which is weird. What method of punishment do you use? A whip, a hairbrush, a combination of both, a whip brush?
Well, you know, the study did not mention tasers. They are okay. Right?
PAB, that's going to be taken out of context by me, and I'm going to ruin your career. What about yelling? You're a mom.
You know, yeah, and my husband and I don't believe in spanking, and, you know, so we do the yelling thing.
Well, between you two, or what?
Yes. That's a whole different issue.
Yes.
Yeah, yelling doesn't work.
No.
And then you just
Doesn't?
yell louder, and then that doesn't work. And then next thing you know, you're screaming, and then the kid just tunes you out, or they're just traumatized. And then you feel guilty as a parent, and it doesn't work anyway. So carrots and sticks.
Carrots and sticks?
Carrots being all you feed them for dinner after you beat them with a stick.
I thought you take carrots and sticks and you put them in a pillowcase and you twist them and you beat them with that. That's what I used to do. Mike, these studies put a lot of focus on yelling and spanking. But what about, are there other useful methods? I mean, you've dealt with certain kinds of punishment that maybe don't involve violence or screaming.
That's absolutely true. Look, I've got three little boys, Scooter, Sluggo, and Muggsy, and they're 6, 4, and 2.
Yeah.
And
really? You have 3 now?
I got 3.
Jeez, time flies.
I know. I mean, I find sleep deprivation, temperature variation.
Come on, you're a good parent. Tell me what you do.
Stress positions.
What do you do?
Oh, what do I do? You know what? PAB is absolutely right. The yelling is just sort of spirals out of control.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes, as a parent, that's all you can do. And people say, well, you should step away until you're calmer. Well, sometimes you just realize, and it's okay to understand that kids can be
Yes.
And so once you understand that, then you're halfway down the road to kind of controlling your own, because part of this is you yell because you think that what they're doing is a bad reflection on you.
Right.
And so I found that if I talk in a very low voice, my dad never yelled at my dad never spanked. We never wanted to disappoint him. When we had done something wrong, he would just look at you and he would lower his voice and he would talk to us. And I come from a family of boys, and we all felt the same way. I try to do that with my boys. I'll be honest with you. Occasionally, it doesn't work, and so then you do go to the stress positions. And
there's always something you rely on.
Yeah, but the spanking, I think occasionally you got to give them a swat if they're just not. And paying attention, or there's just something going on that's just not working for them. But honestly, my boys, if I do that, they just look at me, they laugh, and walk away. Anyway.
Joanne, you have 6 children by 5 different guys and an osprey, which is a bird of prey. Do you have thoughts on this?
Well, the punishment that I dole out to my several children is I take those child support checks.
Yes.
And I spend them on myself. So they don't eat for like weeks at a time.
Yeah, that's
They
nice.
look great.
They do.
You just got bags of Forever 21 gear all over the house.
And they're too weak to misbehave.
Yes.
Which is
Totally.
good. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But then they can't work for me. You know?
Yeah.
Paint my nails.
Yeah.
So it's really not a win-win. So my mother actually did the silent treatment a lot, which I think works even better than yelling, because kids, we want attention.
Yeah.
You know, and we love that sort of, we crave it. So when she would be silent, that's when I knew I did something really bad and I had to figure a way out of it. So I think that kids are sponges and they kind of absorb that energy. So again, I'm not the parent here. I think you guys know it works a lot better than I do.
That's not a criteria for judgment here at Red Eye.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the best parent here and I don't have kids.
But I think the Ukrainian is right. Because I think that sometimes kids feel that any attention is better than no attention. So then what happens is if you revert to yelling, you revert to spanking, then eventually that kid just, they're feeding for the bad attention. And in their perception, that's okay because at least it's some attention.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask Andy because in a way you have children, but they're cats. Do you ever raise your voice to them, and do they even care at this point? Seeing as how you live as a poor example to them as a human being.
Yeah, I hate yelling. Yeah. I absolutely hate yelling. I worked at a place once where the boss was a yeller, and it was absolutely painful. But I think there's a difference, first of all, between raising your voice and yelling. I think sometimes you do have to raise your voice. I also think it's a thing where, like you said, if you start yelling, then you have to escalate and escalate. If you do it rarely, then they know that they've really done something wrong if you're going to raise your voice. So I think the problem is if it's overdone. If you're yelling about everything, it's like the people who are constantly outraged. If you're outraged about everything, then you're outraged about nothing. And I think it's the same thing with yelling. You got to save it for those occasions where like a kid does something where he could die. Or something like that, and then I think you're fine.
Or like looking into my special drawer.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got a special drawer?
Oh, who doesn't have a special drawer? I have a special closet with another special drawer in the closet, and that is really you go in there, it's like bad. It's got a latch.
There's actually a little closet inside the drawer.
Exactly. It's where I hang upside down.
It's like a Russian nesting doll of obscenity.
Yeah. You know, I bet everybody here, or maybe just the guys here, you must remember being yelled at by a stranger. Because that is the thing that you stick with the rest of your life. There's nothing more amazing when you yell at a child that you don't know and watching their face like, you can't yell at me. You're not my parents. And you go, they're not here. They're not here. I don't want you making that noise anymore, child. And there's nothing. They're just so terrified. But you lay a hand on them, and then you just walk away.
How often do you do this?
I used to do it a lot when I worked out at this specific gym, and these kids used to play, and I would just wait, and I'd go, shut up!
Wait a minute. What gym were you working at where kids are playing?
Gymboree.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they just won't get out of the ball pit.
They won't get out of the That's my ball pit. It's Adult Swim in the ball pit. They should have that at McDonald's. All right, everybody out. Time for this weirdo.
Yeah.
This weirdo
Speedo.
Yeah.
He walks in.
Yeah, it's
Goggles.
like that. Oh, that's terrible. All right, but it's a good idea. Anyway, coming up, Harrison Ford.